Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from J.W. Kelly. This is their Melrose Rye whiskey, coming in at a 46% ABV, no age statement. Now, for full disclosure, J.W. Kelly's distribution channel reached out to me, asked me if I'd like to review their samples. I said, yes, of course I would. So, just keeping that transparency going. Now, I've been fortunate enough to be going through J.W. Kelly's lineup, and so far I like what they're doing. I like their bourbon. I thought it was a pretty solid example of a craft bourbon. And I really liked their rye. And that's what really excites me about this bottle. So they start off with American oak casks that have been toasted lightly and charred and all that kind of good stuff. But then they placed it in Amarone wine casks. And I listened to the pronunciation on that like 20 times. So I apologize if I smucked that up somehow. But nonetheless, I love what wine casks can do. I've had some good examples, and I've had some off examples, but I'll be honest, I don't see too many ryes dancing into the wine casks. The only one that comes to mind is Coalition, which I really love, and I've always found that rye tends to play really well with unique casks. So let's get into things as always. We're going to be trying it two different ways. First way, neat, no ice, no water. Second way, we'll add a drop of water, see what changes up. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit. And if you're interested in any of the other reviews of J.W. Kelly, those will be linked up above and down below, along with the link to their website so you can check it out for yourself as well. Oh my gosh, it's already jumping out of the glass. Oh boy. Beautiful color. Nice light golden color going on there. Nonetheless, let's go for notes. Oh, that's beautiful. So, the rye notes here, very reminiscent of like the 95. Oh my gosh, it reminds me of the 95% rye that's used a lot of times in barrelings. It's very herbal forward, and it actually reminds me a bit of Angel's Envy. Not as sweet as their rum cask finished rye, but similar rye note. So yeah, you get this herbal rye bread going on. Very bread forward on that, like a beautiful slice of rye bread. And it's sweet because of that Amarone cask, but it's more like cherry sweet versus rum cask sweet like the Angel's Envy rye. Oh, that's pretty. Vanilla. The fruit notes in there are playing really well. You do get a bit of like a wine grape note. Oak is showing up as well. Oh, that is awesome. Maybe a little bit of spice in there too, like a cinnamon spice note. But that wine cask mixed in there with that bready rye note is gorgeous. I really hope it comes across in the taste. Let's find out. That is good. The wine cask really dominates here. I'm waiting to see if any of the rye deep notes start showing up here in the finish. Right away, you're greeted with that big burst of cherry, grape, and again, like a wine grape, like a red wine grape note. Beautiful oak. The spice layer comes up in the middle here. And you do get a light bit of that rye spice in there. Surprising, though, because I expected that rye to really pop a little bit more. But I almost feel like that would have fought the wine cask a little bit. This is a good example of wine cask finishing. And again, I say the same thing about Coalition. They do an amazing job with wine. Because I've had wine casks sometimes go very sour or like over-ripened fruit. If it's not done right, or depending on where they get their wine casks from, this is good. No ABV, no warmth from that. Beautiful, beautiful spice here. The rye note is kind of still peeking through. It's really fighting hard to get out of that. But that wine cask is dominating here. Again, beautiful fruits going on. Bit of spice. Vanilla is there. The oak is there. Every layer is showing up very well. Even here in the finish, you get a bit of that cherry note with the spice. It's like, oh, it's teetering towards like a baked cherry pie. The coating on there even lingers very, very well. That is a good rye. That really makes me happy. Again, rye plays so well with casks, but wine casks are so hard to get it right, I feel like. Okay, let's add a little drop of water. See what changes up here. Now, I'm interested to see what that water will do. It might make it go different with that wine cask. It might bring back that rye note as well. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, let's go for notes. Ooh. Shut up. That is a big ball of sweet now. Wow. Fruit sweetness. Now, this was sweet, but this is like a big burst of sweetness now. That rye is peeking through a little bit more. Definitely get that bready, rye, beautiful slice of bread. The vanilla is still showing up. Everything is still showing up. This has more character to it, though. Ooh, I just got a big burst of baking spices there. Like Christmas baking spices, like cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. Like when you are getting ready to start baking and things, you have that big combination of spices going on for like a apple pie. Yeah, cinnamon, sweet cinnamon to be specific on that. And here it loses out on some of those characteristics, but it still holds on to that cinnamon. And it's not quite as sweet of a cinnamon, but it's more like a, I want to, and it's going to sound so stupid if I want to say a diluted cinnamon. Like if I was trying to make a cinnamon paste and I put some cinnamon in a bowl, add a little bit of water and started mixing it up, where it's kind of tacky, but it's got that bit of diluted cinnamon note in there. Like almost like a potpourri. Yeah, okay. I like that nose too. Let's go for taste. Actually, the rye shows up a lot more. It does, they end up flip-flopping. This becomes more dominant in the rye note and less in the wine cask. This is more dominant in the wine cask and less in the rye notes. It's very curious. Definitely goes more simple rye. So you're getting those big bursts of the rye bread with the seeds in it. And then it kind of follows up with that oak, vanilla, caramels. And that wine cask finish is still kind of peeking through with a little bit of a tart cherry. And a little bit of the baking spices, but it's definitely not as prominent as the neat version was. As always, it doesn't matter what you drink or how you drink it, as long as you enjoy it. Experience this one. This is gorgeous on its own. This will just flip-flop places, in my opinion, which is not a bad thing. No ABV warmth, no metallic notes, just good, simple rye that's a little fruitier. I like this one as well. All right, let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. So checking around on pricing on this, it tends to go in that mid-60s, about 63 to 65, all the way up to low $70 price range. And to be honest, I don't think that's a bad asking price for this. Wine cask finishing always pulls a higher price point, so does rye whiskey in general, it seems. Honestly, this profile reminds me a lot of what Angel's Envy can do. Bringing out those beautiful rye notes, but using a unique cask in that process. They're doing a dang good job here. I would put it toe-to-toe with a lot of other wine cask finishes, and there's a good chance this is going to end up on top. It is sweet, yet fruity, yet rye forward. Nothing wrong about that cask selection. I think that's unique, and definitely keep it going. I'd easily pay $65 for this. If I'm willing to pay almost $100 for Angel's Envy in some markets, I'm lucky enough here in Indiana to find it for in the mid-80s. Though it's in a similar playing field, more like in a parallel situation, this is just a good example of what rye can do in a unique cask, so I definitely have no qualms with it. And again, if you're interested in anything J.W. Kelly is releasing, a link to them will be down in the description area below. Go show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. J.W. Kelly Melrose Rye Whiskey. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comments section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirit I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, I even like it might